officially 7 weeks out till the Super Showdown between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, or Errol and Terrence Crawford, however you want to put it. Earlier yesterday, Terrence Crawford had basically a homecoming, going away, gathering for him and the people in his hometown of Omaha supporting him as he heads for Las Vegas to train for this fight that's going down July the 29th via Showtime pay-per-view in Las Vegas, Nevada. Undercard has not been announced yet. Like I said before, I just excited about this fight that has finally happened. At the end of the day, no matter who wins, we got this fight. And that's all I really care about. We got the fight. It's gonna happen. May the best man win. If it's Crawford, fine. If it's Earl Spence, fine. Like I said before, it's gonna affect my check one way or another who wins this fight. Like I said before, I have an idea who's gonna win this fight, and I'm gonna keep that to myself because at the end of the day, this is one fight that I'm gonna be neutral going into this fight. I'm going to add breakdowns to this fight as we get closer to this fight. I'm gonna break down how Errol Spence defeats Terrence Crawford and how Terrence Crawford defeats Errol Spence. So it's gonna be fun. Like I said, we doing a real countdown because this is gonna be the biggest fight of the year. One of the biggest fights in the last 25 years. This fight is going to do good. The fight is sold out pretty much. Well, the regular tickets have sold out at regular prices. Now, if you want to resell ticket, then fine. Will I be there? It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Like I'm going to be there in attendance. So I've been making some phone calls to see can I get credentialed for this fight. I don't want to say too much, but keep your fingers crossed. It's looking pretty good. So, I don't want to disclose any information just yet, but it's looking pretty good. Like I'm gonna be there more than likely. So, and also I'm taking donations too. Feel free to drop something in the Cash App or drop something on this stream because like I said, any donations any donations made to this channel up into fight week is strictly going on covering this fight. So if you want the best coverage, and you're gonna get that good raw behind the scenes coverage, so I keep it real. I'm different from everybody else. So like I said before, it's looking good though. It's looking good. I got something in the works. So like I said, it's looking like I'm gonna be there. It's looking pretty good. I can tell you a fight I will be definitely covering, and that will be Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. That's gonna be a good fight. Like I said before, 2023 so far, as far as getting the fights that we want, are getting good content. As far as media go, covering fights, it's been great. We got Tank versus Ryan Garcia. No matter what you think of that fight, we got Vasily Lomachenko versus Devin Haney, and Devin Haney won that fight. And then, we got a big fight coming up, Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. That's going to be a great fight. Then we got some other stuff coming up. Then we have the big one so far. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford in a long anticipated fight that's going to take place July the 29th. And then possibly, depending on what's going on with Canelo, we could possibly get Canelo versus David Benavidez in September if Canelo, signs the damn contract. I mean, Canelo can make an upwards of probably $60 million when it's all said and done fighting David Benavidez. Why he won't take this fight is beyond me. So, and then hopefully we might get something. Oh yeah, also, not to mention we got Fulton versus Ngannou, which is going to be the same week as Crawford versus Spence. I think that fight is going down on a Tuesday. Think it's going down on a Tuesday. Um, will I be able to watch it? Who knows? Because I may be at work, so I don't know what time that fight starts. But that's so. Like I said, man, we got some good stuff coming up. So hopefully we get some more big fights made this year. Hopefully we get to see Shakur Stevenson again, which I think Shakur Stevenson will get another fight. There's talks of him possibly fighting Jermaine Ortiz. So like I said before, um, yeah, we gonna have a great year in boxing. And then not to mention it's looking like in December we get Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. A fight that's maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years too late, but at the end of the day, the fans still want to see it. So it's a good, consolation prize for basically this fight taking 5 years too long to get made. So I'm happy about it. It's all good. Well, you can think what you want. I don't see that fight going that way. I don't think Spence is gonna wash anybody. If you think, I'm sorry to tell you, anybody that think that Spence is gonna have an easy night with Terrence Crawford, you are sadly mistaken. Um, you really are. It's not gonna be a easy fight for neither one of them. But anybody that think that Errol Spence is soon as the bell ring, he gonna throw 3 punches in the fight is gonna be over. You sadly mistaken. You definitely don't know Terrence Crawford, and you underselling Terrence Crawford. I know that a lot of y'all been listening to a lot of this baloney, and particularly made by certain people that I'm affiliated with, but not all of them. Um, and I have told you I don't like some of them dudes just like they don't like me. But Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is not going to be an easy fight for neither one of them. It's going to be a hard fought fight. I could see both of these dudes getting dropped sometime in the fight. Styles make fights. So, no, there won't be no washing. Sorry. Sorry, you're wrong. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Well, you could. Hey, I never. You pick whoever you want to pick. I mean, like I said, I'll be fine. Who? I don't even know what time that fight comes on because one, it's in Japan. In Japan, that's a. Because I know in China got like a. Depending on what part you in, China got a 15-hour time difference. Like, so it's gonna be hard to try to find that fight. So maybe I'm just probably gonna have to watch it online or something. Probably watch highlights. That's gonna be a hell of a fight. What day is it? That fight is what, July the 25th? I think it's July the 25th. I'll check and see. I'll check and see. This other fight that's coming up next week. This fight with Tiafimo and Josh Taylor. Whoo, man. Okay, July the 25th. What is that? Tuesday? That's what, Tuesday? Well, I can tell you right now, I won't be seeing that fight because if it's on a Tuesday, I'll be at work. If I'm lucky, we'll be almost finished. Yeah, I won't be able to see it. That's I won't be able to see it. I'll be coming home and probably just looking at the highlights and then breaking it down because I know I won't be able to see. If it comes on at 2 a.m. in the morning, then I know I won't be seeing it, and I'm not gonna call off from work just just to watch a fight, you know. So that's funny. I should be getting into Vegas like Thursday for like most of the festivities. I should be getting into Vegas like maybe Thursday morning or something. So yeah, not a good look. Well, well, okay. So Pratt, let me. You keep saying Terrence Crawford been barking. Um, all he been Terrence Crawford has been very quiet about the fight, actually, and he's been very respectful towards Errol Spence for the most part. Errol Spence was the one that was making derogatory remarks. His fanboys and his fanny girls, making disrespectful remarks. They made this real personal. They made it way too personal. And then at the end of the day, you had a bunch of clowns, and they know who they is. And I just want to tell, dude, I know you be listening, dude. Nobody's scared of you. Nobody is scared of you whatsoever. You don't scare me one bit. It's a lot different talking on chat lines and all that stuff than versus, seeing somebody in person. Like I said before, you know who you is, bro. Ain't nobody scared of you. So, but nevertheless, as far as this go, actually, Terrence Crawford should be more motivated than Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford, like I said, has been very respectful. It was just these content creators that basically try to divide the community. Basically trying to make it look like if you supported Terrence Crawford, you was some kind of sellout. And it's three particular clowns, and they know who they are. And I'm gonna address them one way or another, win, lose, or draw. Whether Spence wins or whether Crawford wins, I'm going to address them, and I'm saying their names. And I don't usually say people's name, but I'm gonna say their names because it's three particular ones who basically was doing this crap, basically, dividing the community when it was supposed to be a fight that these two black kings were supposed to be having, that the community could celebrate as a whole, like Mexican versus Mexican. But no, you had people having personal attacks, calling Terrence Crawford out his name, talking about his family, talking about his wife, and all that kind of stuff. It got way too personal, and a lot of these dudes just took it to the gutter. But then again, that's what they are. They're black gutter trash. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna address all three of these clowns, and I may do it in separate videos, and I may do it in one video. But I'm gonna address them for what they did. So like I said, I'm gonna speak on it, win, lose, or draw. So that's gonna further show homeboy, like I said, dude, nobody's scared of you. For real. Nobody. Nobody. Well, Damien, we all know who held up this fight. We know who was the guy that held up this fight. He didn't want to make this fight at the end of the day because for whatever reason. They was banking on trying to put Errol Spence in the ring with Canelo. And then based off the fact how Canelo is behaving, Canelo seemed like he don't know what the hell he want to do. So, I just know the play. Like I said, I know what these dudes been doing for a while. You know, believe me, this fight wasn't going to get made. Trust me. I'm glad it got made. I'm glad at the end of the day, I'm glad Terrence Crawford stood firm on, I'm glad he stood firm on, basically not taking the first deal, because at the end of the day, they wasn't really trying to offer him a real deal. Talking about we'll pay you based off what we bring in off the pay-per-view. They wasn't trying to make that man a real deal. And then at the end of the day, people was lying on Terrence Crawford. Once again, lying about contracts getting sent and all this kind of stuff. I mean, these dudes just flat out was just lying and making up stuff. Just making up stuff. Wasn't no contract. And like I said, these personal attacks was just hilarious. Talking about take what they give you and all this stuff. And I was just sitting up looking at these dudes like y'all the ones that's fighting. So Terrence Crawford, he stood firm. You know what I'm saying? He took the criticism. He took the hatred that he got from a lot of the Errol Spence butt boys. And basically, he you know what I'm saying? He's walking away possibly with a 8-figure, you know what I'm saying, an 8-figure payday. Rumor has it that both these dudes are guaranteed at least $10 million, and depending on what this fight do, they possibly could make like more than that. Possibly could make 15 mil apiece. You know, this fight gonna do numbers. Everybody is asking about this fight. The buzz is high for this fight, and I love it. Anybody that think black fighters can't sell is delusional. They're really delusional. You just gotta have. It's just like anything. It's just like any event. You just gotta have the right dance partner. Let's not make it look like Canelo been doing big numbers, because based off the fighters that he been fighting, he ain't been doing great numbers himself. He didn't do good numbers when he fought Bibbo. He didn't do good numbers when he fought Ryder. And he didn't do good numbers when he fought Triple G for the third time in a fight that nobody asked for, that nobody cared to see. So you got to have the right type of dance partner. If he fights David Benavidez, yeah, that fight is going to be big. It's going to have a buzz. David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, it was an okay fight, but let's just face the fact, that wasn't what you call a pay-per-view caliber fight. That fight shouldn't have been on pay-per-view. It should have been on regular TV. But at the end of the day, people got a chance to see David Benavidez. They got to see him, you know, headline his first pay-per-view. And based off the fact how he performed, is interest in that fight with Canelo. Well, first of all, Terrence Crawford isn't with Top Rank. And I gotta educate you on some facts. First of all, Al Heyman wouldn't let Terrence Crawford fight Danny Garcia. He wouldn't let him fight Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman admitted that. Virgil Ortiz turned down a fight with Terrence Crawford not once, but twice. He could have exercised his mandatory. So at the end of the day, let's not do this PBC versus Top Rank, because the only reason why those PBC fighters are so elevated is because of the fanboyism in the way these people suck up to Al Heyman. You don't think Terrence Crawford could have beat Danny Garcia? Terrence Crawford would have knocked Danny Garcia out. You keep forgetting that Terrence Crawford fought Sean Porter. He stopped Sean Porter. And let's talk about Terrence Crawford's defense. Actually, Sean Porter landed more punches on Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. And he hit the floor twice versus Terrence Crawford. And the reason why Kenny Porter stopped that fight, because Kenny Porter didn't want Sean to get slept. So Terrence Crawford, by no stretch of the imagination, is a fraud, because if that's the case, Errol Spence almost got knocked out by Ugas. Bud would have knocked Ugas out in 4 rounds. The reason why people don't see Bud the way they see Errol Spence, because he never got the opportunity. They were willing to make those fights. Once again, Danny Garcia turned down, and I'm gonna say this again, Danny Garcia turned down $3 million to fight Terrence Crawford, and he chose to fight Adrian Granados. So that's not accurate. That's not true about Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is not a hype. He's not a hype job. He fights any of the dudes that Errol Spence fights. He either stops him or he beats him. That's why this fight is intriguing. I mean, y'all gonna have to stop drinking that Kool-Aid, because somebody got to say it. Like I said before, this ain't one of those fanboy Errol Spence channels, and that's why a lot of them dudes kind of like got mad at me, because they wanted me to be an Errol Spence fanboy, and I wouldn't do it. And I'll call it right down the line. So let's not make it look like Bud was fighting scrubs and stuff. If he would have got the opportunity to fight those dudes, he would have did just as good. So I'm just keeping it a buck. He stopped Kell Brook at 4 rounds. It took Errol Spence 11 to get him out of there. He stopped Sean Porter. Errol Spence couldn't stop Sean Porter. And by the way, Earl Spence had a life and death fight with Sean Porter, which he won split decision versus Sean Porter. If he doesn't knock Sean Porter down, he might lose that fight. So come on, man. This ain't no. I know what I'm talking about. So let's not play them games. Canelo has no choice but to fight. Canelo has no choice but to fight David Benavidez. It's either David Benavidez or he should retire, because at the end of the day, Canelo then ran out of, basically nobody's to fight or mediocre competition. He don't want to fight Bibble at 175 because, well, he wants to fight Bibble at 175. So basically, when he gets worked again by Bibble, he can say, oh, well, I shouldn't be fighting at 175. See, the thing is, if he fights him at 168 after claiming, oh, I'll fight him at 168, he didn't think Bibble was going to call his bluff. And now that Bibble didn't call his bluff and said, hey, we beat you, we're making the demands. You don't get to get everything your way. So now, if you want to fight us, it got to be at 168, and you got to put all your belts on the line. And Canelo is hesitant to do that because Canelo knows there's a distinct possibility that he could lose again, which he would. Canelo, if he fights Bibble again, he's getting stopped. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth about Canelo, like it's impossible to stop him. Everybody that saw that fight, that's a real boxing fan, a real student of the game that really follow boxing. Had Bibble turned it up a notch, Bibble could have stopped Canelo. Canelo looked confused. Canelo looked at times like, I don't want any more of this. Canelo looked like, hell, he was ready to quit. But Canelo knew if he would have quit, that would have been detrimental to him. He would have never been respected again. So that's why he went and fought on, and he got worked. So now it's either Bibble, which I don't want to see a second fight with Bibble, or it's David Benavidez. David Benavidez right now would be a heavy favorite. He probably would be a 2-1 favorite versus Canelo. He would be the favorite because Canelo, his last 3 performances, he hasn't looked that good. He couldn't stop John Ryder, and he fought in Mexico, his hometown, in a ring that was the size of a pack of Chewy Chips Ahoy's. That was like the smallest ring I ever seen in my life. And he still couldn't get him out of there. Everything was set up for Canelo to win that fight via stoppage, and he couldn't get John Ryder out of there. Then before that, previously, the Triple G fight. Triple G was put in there at age 41 for Canelo to stop him. He couldn't stop Triple G. Don't even think he really hurt Triple G. And then, as you know, he lost to Bibble. So, with that being said, Canelo has not looked good in his last 3 fights. He's starting to wear down. Keep in mind, Canelo has fought over 60 times. Canelo said out of his own mouth, Canelo has had 60 plus fights. Canelo said there's like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 fights that he didn't even get credit for. So that's a lot of wear and tear, and people need to understand that. But you can't explain logic to people because they think when you're trying to break something down, they think that you're insulting the guy. I'm not insulting the guy. And I need to say this once again. If you have a problem with how I break down a fight or break down a fight, then maybe you need to go somewhere else. That's going to be more compatible to your ears or what you want to hear. I'm not here to do lip service, and I'm not going to say what people want me to say. I'm going to tell the truth from my perspective and break it down from my perspective. That's real talk. So, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, man, I'm real with this. I think Bibble is not gonna get the fight because they playing politics. The WBC is playing politics. Bibble need to do what everybody wants him to do, which is after Arthur Beterbiev takes care of Caleb Smith August 19th. They need to set that fight up for November or sometime in December, maybe January at best. But to me, it's no reason why that fight couldn't happen sometime this year. There's no reason why Arthur Better Beeb and Bibble couldn't lock horns like maybe December, you know, and get that underway and fight for undisputed, because at the end of the day, Bibble looked like he been kind of like trying to age Arthur Better Beeb out, because Arthur Better Beeb is 37, 38 or something like that. So it looked like he trying to age the dude out. So he's going to have to. So he's going to have to make a decision. If I'm Arthur Better Beeb, after I take care of Caleb Smith, I might petition for them to make him either fight me or strip him, and then elevate whoever the number one contender for his belt, and let him fight Arthur Better Beeb, and then you could get the undisputed, because Bibble been running from this fight for the last couple of years, and it's time for this fight to happen. Like I said before, stop trying to age Arthur Better Beeb out. Let the dude get this fight. If he wins and becomes undisputed, Arthur Better Beeb already been hinting that he ready to go. He just want to fight for undisputed and get the undisputed belts, and then more than likely just walk off into the sunset. But, at the end of the day, you got these dudes like Bibble playing games. Like I said, you had a whole bunch of politics this whole time. You had the politics with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. You had all that, and it was nerve wracking to see this go on for 4 years, 4.5 years, 5 years. Every excuse in the book. Other side of the street. I'm gonna do my business first. Al Heyman got my next 4 fights lined up. So at the end of the day, you just heard excuse after excuse. And whether people like it or not, it looked weak. Errol Spence had no choice but to fight Terrence Crawford, because at the end of the day, people was looking at him like, hey man, what's up with this, man? Ain't nobody trying to hear this stuff. Because it was looking like, I give him credit for finally, to a certain degree, telling Al Heyman that, I got to fight Terrence Crawford. That's it. That's all. Because if you would have fought Keith Thurman at 154, it would have been clear. It would have been clear as day it was a duck. It would have been clear as day it was a duck, and that you didn't want to fight. You think Caleb Smith gonna beat Arthur Better Beeb? Man, you tripping. That fight ain't gonna last 4 rounds. Caleb Smith is gonna get massacred. When I say he gonna be victim number 20. He gonna get massacred. That fight ain't going 4 rounds. I don't know what they gonna do. I don't think Tank need to just worry about doing his time and then worry about his next fight later. He need to just stay in shape, worry about his next fight later. I mean, Tank ain't gonna do that much time anyway. So I mean, I don't think they gonna fight next, because I think that Tank is gonna fight either Cruz. I think Tank is either gonna fight Cruz again. Then Rolly is in the cards, and then possibly somebody, dang, what's that other dude's name? It's probably gonna be Cruz. And as far as him and Shakur fighting, that won't happen anytime. Shakur and Tank won't be fighting anytime. It won't be this year. I don't even pay attention to the people that say Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. They just a bunch of Errol Spence nut huggers and butt boys. That's all they is, and they know who they is. At the end of the day, they can't even talk logic. They can't even back up none of the stuff they say. They never make any kind of sense. They just they just fanboys. Let them be fanboys. Yeah, like I said, Smith ain't gonna last 4 rounds. He gonna end up just like he gonna end up like the other Smith. Except it's gonna be Smith instead of Smith Jr. getting knocked out. Dude ain't gonna last 4 rounds. Arthur Better be is gonna destroy him. It's gonna be another massacre, and that's just gonna be it. And then Bibble just gonna have to like he just gonna have to like find a way to get in the ring and basically just get it over with. I mean, just get it over with, man. You know, because at the end of the day, here's the thing: more than likely, Arthur Better be it becomes undisputed, he'll retire. So you stay up at 175, you still have an opportunity. You probably won't go down that far in the rankings if you lose, and you'll still get an opportunity to win all the belts again. So yeah, I don't even be paying attention when people start talking about resumes and all that kind of stuff because at I already know what they be doing. I already know what these dudes be doing, so it's it's just useless trying to like, try to have a discussion with them because you already know what they all about. So, but oh yeah. Let me say this before I go. I just want to say congratulations to Carissa Shields. Carissa Shields, another dominant performance. She fought pretty much in her territory. She from Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan ain't too far from Detroit. So, she fought close to home. Um, like I said before, I respect Carissa Shields as a fighter. I think she's a phenomenal fighter, but the only thing that rubs me the wrong way when she started talking about this stuff about she can beat Rolly and Keith Thurman and all that kind of stuff, when that's not true. Carissa Shields only has two knockouts. Now, Carissa Shields trying to figure out what can she do, because really there's nothing out there for her. And the fights that could be made, she too big for those people. So, what can she do? I think if I'm Carissa Shields, I would consider, right now, temporary, just sitting back. There's nothing out there for her. And that's unfortunate. But all this stuff, this circus talk, she be talking about fighting the man and all that kind of stuff, not a good idea, not a good look. Because you just got to be realistic. And I'm not criticizing Carissa Shields, and to all you captains and simps that's gonna come after me, it has nothing to do with you know what I'm saying, me trying to bully and put down Carissa Shields. I'm just, she just throwing out some BS, and I'm just calling her on it. I'm just bringing her to reality. It sounds good. It sounds real good, but at the end of the day, it's not reality. I'm glad that you successful. I'm glad you did your thing. I'm glad that you whooped on that person, but let's not talk like that no more. But anyway, you guys, appreciate it. I'm out. Be back more later on.